the planning. Like we had just had boxes everywhere forever, ever.
Well, I mean that's
Moving
the way to do it.
Moving is just terrible, dude. It's just the worst.
It is, but yeah,
ever.
I feel like you
Once
made
it's
this
done, it's very nice.
I feel like you made the smart call there. You know, like as far as like the prep,
the lead up.
Yeah, the lead up is where you want to do most of your effort, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Which not the case for us.
Yeah.
Hey, David.
Hello.
Is this where you got? No, that's better.
Hello.
Hello, Dave is having a bad day. It's the pre-show. This is where we talk about what we're going to do on the show.
Listen to him whine about it for a minute.
Yeah. This is actually my favorite show of the week. What we're going to do is talk about comics. So, Dave, tell us what is wrong?
I got sprayed in the face with gasoline.
At the gas station?
Well, that sounds like a story.
No, not at the gas station.
Was someone attacking you with gasoline?
No.
David, just tell the story. We're never going to guess it.
I'm going to know. Was it a John Deere tractor accident?
No, I was going to mow my yard today, and I have a gas can, and it was under pressure. And so when I went to release the pressure, the gas sprayed me in the face.
Oh, man. Hey, Andy, how's it going?
So
thanks for hanging out. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. But let me tell you about gasoline. If you get it in internally, like if it gets in your body,
drink milk
in your stomach, you do not want to throw up.
No, you want to drink milk to neutralize it.
Yes. The reason you don't want to throw up is because gasoline and stomach acid can turn into some kind of gas.
Yeah.
And if that gas, when you throw up, some of it's going to get in your lungs. And if that substance gets into your lungs and produces the gas, you can literally like asphyxiate. Mama Cass. That's what happened to Mama Cass. Okay. Y'all know Mama Cass from
Did she swallow gasoline?
No, she threw up, but she was drinking so much alcohol that it actually had the same effect.
Gracious, man, she must have been drinking hardcore there if it was similar to the effect of gasoline.
It was the 60s, baby.
Oh, I was able to get into a shower, and I pretty much was like rinsing my face off.
Did you get the grass mode?
No, I didn't get the grass mode.
Really dropping the ball there, David.
Yeah, come on, man. You're kind of late on the ball anyway if it's the first mow of the year.
But no, I'm just kidding. I hope you feel better, man.
Well, fortunately, I don't have any irritation in my eyes as far as so far it's been a couple hours.
Gasoline in the face.
Yeah.
In the face.
It's no irritation in my eyes. My skin the skin on my cheeks is a little red.
You should call out tomorrow.
I don't have to work tomorrow.
Let's do the show. That's good news though. You don't have to work.
Mm-hmm.
I knew. I'm jealous now. So now I'm the victim. I know. It is a Star Wars weekend, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a great time this weekend.
Pretty much.
Oh, David, you catch Obi-Wan yet?
I did.
Woo! We were talking on the show last night. How'd you like it?
I will tell you what to do.
Oh, he's gonna wait for the intro. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. Another episode of This Geek in Comics, Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Gomer, a.k.a. David Taylor. How is it going, gentlemen?
Good.
I'm doing okay.
Well,
Dave was
other
just
than
about
obvious,
to answer a question about Kenobi in the lead up to the previews.
I think it's pretty good. We're only 2 episodes into it, 6 episodes. It's a little hard to kind of scale it right now, but
sure.
I am pleasantly pleased with the content of these 2 shows so far. We are exploring another corner of the Star Wars universe that we pretty much haven't seen.
But you should post that, Andy. Post that link to your review. I'll pimp it.
I was pleasantly surprised by how much Leia was in it. I didn't know there was going to be any Leia in it. You know?
I didn't know it was going to be a Leia show. Exactly.
I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I kind of figured we'd get a little bit of Luke, but
I was going and expecting us to be hanging out on Tatooine the whole time. I had seen in some trailers that we were going to go some other places, but I thought it was going to be more time hanging out in the cave or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's not really much you can go there.
That's not really a criticism. Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing the right thing here.
Yeah, me too.
Because the whole book of Boba Fett is essentially on Tatooine.
That is true.
That one whole planet is like the center of the Star Wars universe.
And a not insignificant amount of Mandalorian was on Tatooine. So I think we spent enough time on Tatooine. Like, let's
not go back there. All right, we're here to talk about comics. I hope everybody had a great weekend, but we begin anew. If you see something, say something. Chat, if you want us to talk about a book dropping this week, let us know. But we're going to talk about all the new comics coming out. We're going to start an action, but a lot of annuals this week. It's kind of a weird week for comics this week, but there are some gems. Action is actually written Philip Kennedy Johnson, sure, but Cy Spurrier has a story in there. Dale Eaglesham, love that guy so much. This should be okay, because it's actually not really a story. I mean, it says World War here, but it's got a second one, a second story. So that should be better. I dig this Steve Rude variant. Very nice. Throwback to action number 1. Was it action number 1?
It is definitely action number 1, and you should be ashamed for not being certain of that.
Well, hype. $25 poster. I think this is actually $25 for a stack of free posters that the shop can just give away.
It must be, because 25 is a big ask for a poster.
That is a big ask.
A poster? Really? I mean, it is acetate. Anyway, moving on. Because we do get, this is one of the books I'm waiting to read this week. Very excited. Batman Annual #1 for 2022. Ed Bryson is writing this. Following the events of the Abyss story arc, Batman has now tasked Ghostmaker to finance and lead Batman Inc. Now, the rumor is, and I'm pretty sure this is confirmed now, I don't think this is a rumor anymore, that this one-shot is going to lead into an Ed Bryson, John Timms ongoing Batman Incorporated book. And I'm stoked. I like Batman Incorporated.
Batman Incorporated... It is a pretty cool cast of characters. They really fell off the map for a while. It was kind of cool to see them brought back last year.
Yeah. In the Williamson.
Williamson
run? Yeah.
Yeah, that little Williamson got that that thankless job, right, to be kind of like the placeholder arc between like the big creative team switch up.
Right.
But he did a pretty good job with it. I really like that story he told.
Yeah, so I'm expecting big things from there. White Knight gets a showcase edition. Not terrible. Batman Reptilian, Garth Ennis and Liam Sharp. Pretty solid book. Ennis knows what he's doing. Sharp's amazing. So if you don't have that now, it's a good opportunity to get it. Moving on past all of this other stuff. Death and Return of Superman Omnibus. Not terrible. Not great. Purity Ortega, thanks for stopping by, Purity. We appreciate it.
Well, for $150, that's probably a steal.
Yeah. Now, everybody, check the links here. There is Andy's review of the first couple episodes of Obi-Wan. Check that out. It's a long link. Oh, he's in the Outright Geekery group, so that's easy to find. Taylor dropped off. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. Hardware Season 1 ends, which is great because Season 2 of Milestone is right around the corner. Basically, it began
just in time.
Basically, it began with Duo #1, which was a pretty solid read.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to see this end, come to the end to see what's happening there. Hardware Season 1 #6 finally ending. This is the end of the first phase, I guess, of the return of Milestone, and it's been good. It's been solid. Taylor?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is probably the weakest of this first wave, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah. And that's a great thing about Milestone. All of them have been solid. I mean, they're not all Static. Static is fucking awesome.
Static is head and shoulders the best. Icon and Rocket was, pretty good.
Pretty solid.
This was at least pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah. Duo was fantastic. That's also set in the Milestone universe.
Yeah, that's setting up this next wave that they're pulling out here.
Very excited about all of that. So halfway through the DC books, we do get this Justice League Road to Dark Crisis. This is a lean-in book. It's sort of leaning into the upcoming event. That is Hardware. Purity, the Milestone milestone character. What character is that Hardware? That is a milestone character who is actually kind of an old character from the 90s that was part of the Milestone universe. That's where Static Shock got his start.
Yeah, his whole shtick is that he is like a genius inventor, and his hardware is like all this armor that he wears, and
basically Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Basically, he was set up. He was basically Iron Man in a lot of ways, but like
street level Iron Man.
Yes, like we shouldn't be too reductive about it because he does have a lot of cool like shit going on there. His whole shtick is that he was set up as a dupe for like this big like corporate bullshit thing that they did, and he's having to fight to clear his name, and he's having to fight the police and gangs and all these other people coming at him from every direction.
It's a hot book. It's really good. Milestone's been great. Moving on. Dark Crisis one shot. A bunch of different artists jumping in here. My fear is this is just going to be one of these books that gives you 4 or 5 pages of a book that's going to be coming out later. There might be some new material here.
I mean, for $7, it better be new material,
I don't think so, dude. It's just going to be like that Omega book where I don't really give a shit. The Devil's Reign Omega came out last week. Devil's Reign
was
awesome.
Just pimping out like new whatever they're doing next. Yeah, so yeah. I'll have to thumb through this to see if it's something I'll pick up.
For sure. Nice House on the Lake continues. Issue number 9 of 12. This has been a fantastic run so far. James Tynion IV doing horror, the best sort of stuff he does, really. We're going to talk more about him later. Past the Mountains, everything is getting reprinted. I think that's enough to say SCX or CEX. They're a weird company. I don't know. Shadow War Omega. Pretty sure this is wrapping. Shadow War's epic conclusion. We basically kind of already know what is going on, what the big deal is. There were 2 Deathstrokes and a bunch of craziness. But as far as an event goes, as far as all of these events have gone, these sort of mini character-centric events, Wonder Woman had one, Batman has had one, Superman did not have one.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not yet.
But Wonder Woman had one. Oh, Aquaman. Aquaman had the Aquaman.
Oh, Aquaman, yeah.
Yeah. This has been the best of those. So, it's the Batman book. First volume of Son of Kal-El gets collected. This seems like it's been a while. I guess it's because it's the hardcover. No, it's still issue 126.
Yeah, I think we're only on issue like 8 or 9, I think now.
It seems like it's a month late. Seems a little late.
But they have been churning these out pretty consistently, so I'm not sure what number we're up to now. But anyway, if you haven't been reading this is really good. It is worth checking out.
Fantastic opportunity to jump on this. Tom Taylor is great. And this is like the future of DC, at least the near future of DC, as John and the rest of these younger characters sort of do their champions thing, but actually do it the right way with a huge event and diving in, head first. I'm anxious to see where everything's going to go with Dark Crisis because this has been fantastic. Nightwing's been fantastic. So,
well, they're both Tom Taylor books, so yeah.
Maybe better than Stark. It's a different take on that sort of trope. The rich.
He does come
trope.
to it from a different perspective. So, in a lot of ways,
a lot more humble than Tony.
Not necessarily, but he does have more of an edge to him.
When Hardware gets knocked down a little bit, he sort of is okay and sort of learns from it. Tony don't learn from shit.
That's fair.
Yeah, but it's still, it really is kind of unfair to compare Iron Man and Hardware. I shouldn't have maybe not done that. But anyway, Jeff Johns, Omnibus for Teen Titans, fantastic run. Arguably the best Teen Titans run. Yes, there are definitely ones in contention there, but this is a fantastic run.
This was the run that was around the time Infinite Crisis was coming out, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So cool book there. And again, not much this week because, we're right back at the beginning. That's all we got.
Beginning of the month, yeah.
Yeah, from DC this week. So
there's plenty of hardcovers that are for stuff that, I already have, so I don't really need to
I've already read that I don't want. We do have a couple of annuals that are worth, talking about, but anyway, let's go to everybody else. These books are coming out Wednesday when books are supposed to come out. Here's that book we were going to talk about, James Tynion doing horror. Closet. The Closet, number 1, 3-issue miniseries. Existential family horror from James Tynion and Chris O'Halloran. I'm anxious to read this. It looks really cool. It's James Tynion.
It sounds very interesting.
Yeah, he's one of the hottest writers on the planet right now, if not the hardest. You could definitely argue, but he's got a lot of damn good books coming out right now. And
he's also got a
book's
talent for
fantastic.
horror writing too, specifically.
Yep, 100%. Firepower, because it would not be a week at Image Comics without a Kirkman book. So there's your Kirkman book.
And Firepower is pretty solid read.
It is, dude. All Kirkman shit is solid. I talk shit on Kirkman because Walking Dead, has gone all mainstream and Invincible now, and Kirkman's kind of got a shitty attitude, when it comes to stuff. But man, he always writes good stuff.
Yeah, he got to where he is for a good reason,
Yeah. Basically, the Firepower is a martial arts book, but it's suburban, like ninja.
Well, they're more globetrotting right now.
They are doing that now, yeah. But it's still like a family thing, like a nuclear family sort of setup.
Yeah, right now it's a real good read. The first issue just alone is wonderful for its storytelling elements. There's no dialogue. Right? Yeah, but there's no dialogue in that first issue, and that sets the tone for the rest of this series.
Yeah, fantastic series. Moving on to possibly another contender for the best comic book writer on the planet right now, Jeff Lemire. He's got a book coming out very soon in the month of June that I can't wait to talk about on the show. But Little Monsters has been awesome. It's sort of an adolescent, teen angst vampire sort of thing in the apocalypse. It's such a weird concept, but it's very entertaining.
Quite nice.
Yeah, and Dustin Nguyen is just an amazing artist. That's really why you want to get in here.
These two are like the perfect team.
Yeah, they're great.
Pick up any of the collaborations they've done, and you can't go wrong.
You can't. I still prefer Lemire and Sorrentino, as far as teams go. But it's hard to argue.
You don't have to pick,
You're right. Yeah,
they're both good collaborations.
Amazing. Yeah, both are just amazing.
There's a bigger body of work for Nguyen, I think, because of, Ascender and Descender, but yeah. But like you were saying, Jeff Lemire himself, you really can't go wrong, and these artists really do a great job as well,
Yeah. Loaded Bible, Blood of My Blood, continuing that. Murder Falcon, Danny Warren Johnson. This is a weird book. Like, Taylor, I know, is a huge fan of Danny Warren Johnson. I don't think he would like this book as much as I like this book, because it's all based around heavy metal and those sort of tropes. And I just don't think you would. Maybe you would get it, you would appreciate it, but I don't think you'd get the full understanding.
I'm not deep into that particular scene,
Yeah, but if you are into the metal scene, get this book. It is amazing. This is a great way for it to be presented to a deluxe edition hardcover for $30. That's nothing. This is a great book. Phalanx one shot, 30th anniversary of Image, them coming back to some of their greatest hits. Spawn Scorch, because it would not be a week at Image Comics without some McFarlane. Step by Bloody Step, finally finishing this off.
Passed over Righteous Thirst for Vengeance.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, yeah, let's go back. Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, number 8. I thought this book had ended. Rick Remender, Andre Araujo.
This thing is picked up on a whole other level.
Yeah, it's moved up a level since issue 7. So a fantastic book. It's really well written. It's really like an underworld sort of assassin story.
Yeah,
with like a big heart. It's really weird to explain it like that.
Because right now our main character is trying to protect the kid, and the kid just got kidnapped. So he's not doing a great job, but he's in the woods with a bunch of these survivalist people, and I think
it's on the main character though. He should have been more open with that kid, and things would be better right now. But
it's crazy. It's great. Yeah. It has really good turns. Book. Great, great sequential art storytelling in here. Because a lot of times in some of the books, there's not a whole lot of dialogue.
Yeah, there's just enough. It's very low on the word balloons, just enough so that you understand what's going on. And I really like the style. By contrast, this book has no word balloons, no dialogue at all. Cy Spurrier, Matthias Lopez.
Oh, they kept that going through every issue of this?
Every issue.
Yeah.
Of this.
That's impressive.
That's really the point. You know, that was the way they wanted to sort of tell the story. I love this cover. If you've been reading this book, this cover means so much because at the beginning, this big robot was protecting and carrying around this little baby girl. And now it's sort of like a role reversal where she's, you know, trying to get it's just been great. It's just a really cool way to tell a story. It really shows how the medium can work, you know, in a way that is unique to any other medium. Yeah, Step is amazing, Andy. It's been really, really fun. Moving on. Spawn Scorch, Walking Dead. What's the furthest place from here? I wish this book was getting a little bit more attention. It's good, but it's like not worth mentioning good. You know what I mean? It's weird.
It is. It's in a strange place right now.
Yes.
And it just, because one, it follows the post-apocalyptic trope, and there's like another book in here. You know, the Little Monsters follows the post-apocalyptic trope. It's been done, and it isn't getting the attention it deserves. But it is a great book.
The thing about it is, Rosenberg, this is sort of the spiritual successor to Six Kids Walking, or is it Four Kids?
Four Kids Walking to a Bank, which is supposed to be getting a sequel.
It is, but this is kind of like a spiritual successor to that. It feels like that same vein. And the best part about Walking to a Bank were the characters.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what Rosenberg is doing here. He's really presenting these characters with depth and richness. But again, the market is just so jam-packed that sometimes it's just hard to say, hey, you should go watch this Oscar kind of movie. And that's how this plays out. Like, just really great character moments. But it's hard to do when there's so many blockbusters, you know, to go see. So, but still a fantastic, fantastic book. Moving on to Dark Horse.
In a world of Morbius, there will always be everything everywhere all at once.
It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time.
Avatar, Adapt or Die. Cyberpunk is getting another spin-off. Those have actually been pretty good comics, the Cyberpunk. Stranger Things Kamchatka. Now, this is a pretty big deal because I read the first issue of this and I didn't give a shit. After watching the first part of the latest season of Stranger Things, Kamchatka is one of the coolest places in the whole season. And it's like, man, I want to go back and sort of see if I can pick up some threads now that they maybe took from this latest season of Stranger Things. Man, I finished it last night. It was amazing. It was so damn good, dude. It's so fun. Nobody else watches Stranger Things.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Busy.
Yeah, I've got to find time to get caught up.
Yeah,
I'm off tonight and I'm off tomorrow night, so this is my nights to.
Those episodes are like an hour and a half long each.
Really,
dude? It's like each episode is like a freaking movie. It's crazy, but it's very good. It's very
okay. Well, I mean, I got several.
You got all day. You got all.
I got all night.
Yeah. We have Demons #3. Actually, this has already come out on Comixology.
But it's nice to have it in physical form finally.
Very nice
and it's great. It's a great series.
It is fun. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. I mean, that's the Batman duo. A lot of people's favorite Batman duo, you know?
Yeah, over the last 10 years.
Yeah. No, I mean all time. They might be top 5 for me all time.
I was just thinking, how many years has it been since Snyder and Capullo were on Batman?
We had the King run, which
it's been like 5 or 6 years, hasn't it?
It's been a while. We had the King run, and then Williamson took over. No,
Tinian had his run, yeah,
and then Williamson had like 8 issues, and now we're in the Zdarsky era here in a little bit.
Man,
I know it seems like it was just yesterday, man.
Batman is a revolving door of writers.
It is, but they all.
It's a revolving door of good writers.
Well, Snyder was on Batman for years, and so was King. So we got some very long runs in there.
It's been a while. I can't even tell you who was on it before him. Before Coppola and Snyder.
I can't remember that far back. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the dub. Nothing from the dub as far as floppies. They do collect a bunch of good stuff, but.
Yeah, it's a very light week with IDW. Very light week.
I don't think I've ever heard you call them the dub before.
The dub, IDW, the dub. I know.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do it.
You shouldn't.
Marvel Comics Alien continues. Great cover here. I do want to show off the
Queen.
The Queen. Yeah, the Queen parody cover here.
Oh, that's fun.
That is. That's really fun. That's a really, really fun cover. That's from Mark Aspinall. But I haven't been reading Alien. I am anxious to see Predator, now that it's finally going to come out. So, Avengers Forever. This is kind of a big deal. Taylor is the only one reading this, but it is the introduction, the first appearance of the Vibranium Man, who is basically a different universe.
Man, I'm not going to be able to get this in the shop. People are going to spec the hell out of this.
Oh, yeah, people are going to spec this hard. Vibranium Man is basically another universe's version of Iron Man, but he's Wakandan. So it's like you've got a Wakandan Iron Man.
That is a fun
really
premise.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, this has been like the let's do all the riffs, like let's do like Tony Stark as Ant-Man. Let's do like Ben Grimm as the Star Brand, shit like that.
I mean, this looks like the what is that thing from the Thor? The
that is the Destroyer armor. That is that's Killmonger.
In the Destroyer armor.
In the Destroyer armor. Yeah.
That's so rad, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, he's one of the masters of evil, so yeah.
That's so rad. I love that.
I mean, it's a lot of really stupid but really fun things that they do. And this is like that's been Jason Aaron's whole Avengers run, and this is him just like this really going off the rails. But in a good way.
Superman.
Yeah, it does look like it's riffing Superman.
You can't have a baby in a rocket and not have the Superman comparison.
He was the first baby in a rocket.
Or at least he's the most iconic one. Yeah.
Well, either way. I'm trying to think. I don't know of any other babies in the Rockets. Anyway, that book is going to go really, really well. Sell really, really well. Black Panther #6, The Conspiracy Continues. I'm all in on this book. It's been a whole lot of fun. Even though T'Challa's voice is a little bit weird in this, I think John Ridley still gets it. Landini's been killing it on art. And I think the status quo has changed so much that it's okay to not really get T'Challa's voice in this. It's a different flavor of Black Panther, and I'm loving it. I'm really Storm shows up. Sold. I just sold 20 copies of this book. Anybody who's gonna read this, like, Storm coming in there? I'm definitely reading it.
That's always a fun inclusion,
right? Oh man, did you end up reading the X-Men book from last week? The what is it? League of X? What the hell was it?
I haven't gotten to it yet. No,
it's very good, and Storm has such a fun little banter with Nightcrawler. It's really cool. And they introduced more Iraqis in there, dude. It's so fucking cool. I got to talk about it. The Iraqis have gods. But when their gods show up, 9 times out of 10, their gods are found unworthy because the Iraqis just kick their fucking asses like the Klingons and their gods, And it's like, no, we don't have any gods because we just murder them all because none of them can compete with how good we are, how badass we are. It was very good. It was very fun to read. Moving on to Captain Marvel #38. No real reason to mention this except it's a book that's still going on, and I don't really understand it.
I mean, it's something that's been off of all of our radar, but you don't make it to 38 issues these days without doing pretty well. And Kelly Thompson is a great writer.
But you know what wasn't on our radar and was a Kelly Thompson book? That fucking Black Widow book that for some reason got canceled. That's bullshit. Because this book is okay, but it's not that Black Widow book.
Black Widow was amazing, and it definitely should still be going, but I do think that Captain Marvel as a character has a bigger profile than Black Widow these days, so I'm not surprised in that regard, at least.
For sure. I mean, still a solid book, but
it's
hard to compare it to that other. Carnage #3 continues that run. Here's a good pickup. Ghost Rider #3. Love this cover so much.
That is a nice cover.
Yeah, who doesn't love big semi trucks?
What was that Stephen King thing with the evil semi truck?
That was
Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive.
That's right.
Yeah, a great movie, very underrated movie, dude. It's so good. But yeah, this looks fun. I mean, Ghost Rider's always fun, dude. I mean, he's always sort of the same, but great art. And it's Ben Percy. Ben Percy is one of those writers at Marvel right now who can do no wrong.
I mean, Ghost Rider is one of those shitty edgelord characters, but sometimes shitty edgelord characters are fun,
Oh, for sure, dude. Pretty cool Momoko cover here. I love her style. This is a little bit of a
departure from what we're normally accustomed to seeing from her.
Yes, yeah, but I still enjoy it. I still think it's cool. And Momoko covers are always hot. We would be dumb to not talk about King Conan. Penultimate issue of the very last original content from Marvel Comics. Everything else will be reprints in trades and stuff like that as they have allowed the license to go elsewhere. I won't miss Conan at Marvel. I mean, it was cool. There were some really, really good parts, but otherwise, it was just.
I mean, that Savage Avengers book was pretty rad, but other than that,
Right.
yeah, it's just nothing. I feel like he doesn't add enough to the Marvel universe that you need to get all worked up about it,
Yeah. Purity chimes in on the chat. Will there be a female Predator? I don't know, but that sounds like a damn cool idea.
I mean, now that they're printing comics, yes, eventually,
Yeah.
they'll do everything eventually.
There probably has been.
I don't necessarily recall seeing a female Predator in any of the Dark Horse stuff, but that doesn't mean that there isn't.
That'd be cool if they leaned on that.
But the one human character that emulated the Predators from the Alien versus Predator series, Mariko or whatever her name was, she was she took on a very Predator-esque aesthetic, but I don't recall like an
actual alien.
A definitive female Predator.
Yeah, that'd be cool though. They should definitely lean in on that. I'd read that. Anyway, moving on. Knights of X #2.
Our new Excalibur book.
Yep, this is exactly the new Excalibur book, except they are the X-Men of Otherworld now. Straight up, and I'm enjoying that. Otherworld has a whole lot of potential as just a cool foundation for telling cool stories, and I'm hoping that they eventually get to it, but so far so good. I think we're through all of the X books, at least issue #1 now. Taylor has read them all except that one, and dude, they're all good. They're all really damn good. New Mutant still sat to the top. Marauders maybe moved down a couple of beats. Red has been amazing.
Yeah,
Immortal has been so much fun.
Yep.
So yeah, it's still going strong.
It's kind of like when they first finished with Powers of 10, House of X, and everything was coming out of the gate swinging. Eventually, we get around to the ones where there's just kind of let's extend our reach a little bit, and then you got some things not bad, but Way of X and X Corp or whatever that one was called.
Yeah,
they were just kind of
they
middling.
reached a little too far.
Yeah.
But
so
honestly,
I think that they took the opportunity with his
first run after Hawks and Pox. Fallen Angels wasn't great. The
art
was amazing, but it fell off really, really quick. So
I had actually forgotten all about that one. So
exactly. You're gonna get your stinkers in there, but so far so good, man. Even though Marauders has taken, a deep dive with Orlando, taking what was a really cool pirate themed rescue team and basically turned them into the fucking Starjammers. Or
that's basically what they are now.
Captain Horlock.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no one wants that, but it's still a solid read. It's
a solid read. You missed the pirate energy, though. That was fun.
Yeah, for sure. And they can get back to that pretty easy. Miles Morales #38. Ahmed still. Sorry, this is the best Spider-Man book at Marvel. Period.
Hands down. Yeah, I mean that's indisputable.
Yeah, it's so damn good. And he's done so through costume changes, through another Clone Wars, through at least 2 events where his book was brought into it, and he just rode that wave and won. A lot of family drama. It feels like the Spider-Man book I want to read every time I'm reading it, and I'm really excited every time this comes out. So
it's worth pointing out real quick that the Clone Wars from back in the 90s is very famous, but also famously very bad, and this is a lot better than that.
Oh, this is a ton better than that.
Yeah.
Love that Jen Bartel cover there. Great use of color on that. Very, very well done. Moon Knight #1. Did we skip Knights of X?
No, you didn't skip Knights X. You were talking about that earlier.
I know. Bounty Hunter #23. This is still going. That's weird. Vader #23. They just keep going. Strange #3. I guess it's okay to talk about Strange, even though this is not a very good book. I've not been having fun with this at all. I don't know how long this is going to last. I would really like Steven to come back from the dead already. Just, I don't know.
Weird timing with that. You think they would have wanted to have Steven make a dramatic return right as his movie was coming out?
It is. It's just, I'm just not a fan of this book at all. But moving on, we do get this. The What If Miles Morales is getting reprinted. X-Men 92 House of XCII. What was 92? House of 92?
That is 92, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. It's weird art. It's basically what
you know what you're getting.
It's basically what if House of X was part of the status quo during the X-Men animated series in the 90s. And it's fucking weird, dude. Okay? I mean, it's got its cool points, but dude, it's weird. It's weird. Anyway, moving on to everybody else. Dynamite's got a few books coming out. Just Red Sonja continuation, Dynamite Never Dies, Vampirella. Same old basic stuff you get from them.
Big old platter of cheesecake.
That's right. Big old platter of cheesecake covers. Shapeshifters #4 from the Storytellers line. This is usually pretty solid. David usually reads these. He has skipped this issue or this
series. I've skipped.
Yeah. But it's usually pretty good.
Grim really, #1 is getting a reprint.
Which one?
Grim #1.
Grim was solid. It's about a Grim Reaper who is like a really cool, but she doesn't remember how she died, and she wants to find the actual Grim Reaper to figure it out. Very solid first issue. I'm going to need at least one more issue, maybe two, to know for sure if it's going to be, a good series. But the first issue was not terrible.
Whenever you guys mention this series, I initially think you're talking about Grim Fairy Tales, which is like the cheesecakeiest cheesecake book to ever cheesecake.
Oh, it is.
And I'm thinking that this is a comic based on the series Grimm.
That too. That's like the second place where my mind goes, but it is neither of those things.
It's neither of those.
It's actually a pretty cool premise.
Yeah. My favorite book at Boom right now, Once and Future.
It's a good book. Always good book.
So good. Mora always does right on the art. Kieran.
Are we coming into this is like the final arc? Or
they are getting very close to the end of this book. Yeah, it has been announced. So, there's Robin Hood. Man, he's just the baddest ass in this. He's so cool. But it's a riff on like Merlin and all those.
The Arthurian legend.
It's Arthurian, It's
but updated.
I mean, Kieran Gillen's awesome anyway,
Yeah, a very good book. And then everything else. This is David's bread and butter.
Well, it is a very light week, and some of the stuff that I kind of am interested in, I don't think the shop is going to get.
Oh no.
Because they got a book called Bikini Atoll. It's a hardcover book, but it's basic. It reads like where they had the nuclear weapons testing and all that.
A nuclear powered shark.
Yeah, and a nuclear powered shark, maybe a giant iguana.
That's
speaking of cheesecake. Wow.
I mean, still, that's not very good art. The shark is definitely the most beautiful thing on.
That's
this
the
page,
best thing on the.
That is a good looking shark. That's true.
Yeah, but man, that sounds awesome.
But it's a very light week for anything like new issues, #1 debuts. There's a bunch of like continuations, issue 2s, issue 3s for some stuff. I did it's a little ways down, but the first book that did catch my interest is from AWA, and it's a book called New Think. And it reads like it's going to be
Go ahead.
It reads like it's going to be like an anthology like Black Mirror on Netflix. The writer...
That's exactly what it says. Black Mirror style anthology.
The writer is Greg Horowitz.
Way to crack that code, David.
He did.
He is responsible. This is a guy that's responsible for the Orphan X series of novels.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And we got Mike Deodato. So we're going to see some good art.
Living legend. I love his shit so much. This is definitely in my top 3 this week. I had this on my list before you mentioned it. AWA is awesome, and this sounds like it's right up my alley, dude. This weird sci-fi Black Mirror type shit. Yeah, I'm all over this.
And then the next book of interest is Never Ender #1.
Yes, this looks kind of interesting as well. It's Behemoth, Kevin Kraft, Devin Kraft. Or I guess that's the same guy, Devin Kraft.
Yeah.
I thought it was Devin and Kevin. I was like, man, their parents are terrible. But anyway, it just looks like some really cool
sci-fi.
Yeah, spaceship sci-fi. Starship sci-fi. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. We don't know anything. But it looks cool.
But like I said, most of the stuff is continuations of issue 2s, issue 3s. Those were the only two, like, issue ones that really stuck out to me. Just some other stuff.
We can look at Triskelly right here. This one caught my attention earlier this week. Philippe Pan and Monoramas doing this debut over at Scout. It looks like just medieval fantasy sort of.
Samhan. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, looks kind of cool. I love this cover, dude. This cover is wild.
I might.
How they're all bleeding together. The characters. I don't know, something about that.
I might ask. I might ask if
the one at the top looks kind of like Khonshu from the Moon Knight.
Right, right here. Yeah, right here. It's
maybe he's a plague doctor or something. I don't know.
Yeah, unmistakable.
The Follow Me into Darkness is a fun series if you like that kind of thing, and this is the final issue for that. Yeah,
not a terrible book.
But overall, it's a really light week for everything. There's not a whole lot of stuff. I think the biggest contender for what will get my money this week is going to be Image.
Image is having a fantastic week with a must-read debut, a James Tynion debut. That's new thing from AWA is definitely on my list this week. Closet #1 over on Image from James Tynion, definitely on my list.
Little Monsters.
Yeah, Little Monsters is good, but I think rounding out my top 3 is probably going to be, God, it's so hard. There's just so little coming out this week, man.
It is a pretty sparse week, yeah.
Yeah. They blew their ammo on last week.
Oh, well, dude, last week and the week before combined were just gigantic.
That's usually how they do their release schedule nowadays. It's pretty backloaded. Yeah. The first week of the month is usually pretty sparse.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Have a good one, man.
But yeah, beyond that, I'm really going to have to throw my money at that Batman annual. I'm excited for the new Batman Inc. series to come out. Ed Bryson's one of my favorite writers.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how Omega War wraps up.
Sure. It lost kind of
Shadow War. I said the wrong thing, but yeah.
After the last season, they kind of blew its wad. Yeah. We know what's happening now. You know, but
it'll be fine. But then, the only Marvel thing I can really think of is that Avengers Forever, and that's not even something I'm super hyped about.
Yeah, Knights of X, King Conan, Ghost Rider. There are some good.
There's a lot of solid things. There's a lot of solid stuff, but nothing that's I'm chomping at the bit for.
Exactly. Anything else, Dave?
No, not that. Other than some mangas, but
no one wants to hear about your
no one wants to hear mangas.
Awesome. So a little lighter this week, but we're still going to talk about all those books on our show Sunday night. So come back, hang out to this channel. The Bullies did a show last night. Check that out. It's on Facebook and their YouTube. You can get to that YouTube page by going to outrightgeekery.com. We have links there to all kinds of stuff, all the stuff from the Bullies, all the Outright Geekery stuff, merch, affiliates, Patreon, anything you want to do to help us or hang out with us. It's all right there. Again, come back Sunday. We're going to be talking about all this shit, including a bunch of news. I already got a food news for next week. I cannot wait to talk about that shit. But yeah, thanks again, everybody.
Is the one you have the gross one or the good one?
It's hard. You got to make your own choice.
I guess I'll see. Anyway,
you have to make your own choice.
Food news is always a choose your own.
It's just like a choose your own disgusting.
Well, I mean, one is very head and shoulders better than the other one most of the time.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. But most of all, thanks to these jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Always a pleasure.
We're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.